Juniors and Cadets, it's Twig, and today in Skills we're going to learn about maps.
Let's learn about the parts of a map. So there are 5 main parts. There's the key. The key just tells you what each symbol on the map means. Then we have the compass rose. This tells you where north is on your map. And that information is important because it tells you where you and your map have to be facing to have the same place be forwards. Then we need to have our title. The title can be anything that just explains what the map is. So this title is just a trail for next to Twig's house. Then we also have to have a grid for longitude and latitude. And this helps you identify the precise place of something on a map. The last part of the map we need to learn about is scale. It tells you for every 1 inch how much real distance there is. So for example, 1 inch on our map could translate into 10 miles in real life. So that means if you look at 2 inches of space on your map, that would actually represent 20 miles of distance. This way you know how far you're traveling. Let's find these different parts of a map on a real map. Because we're looking at the map of a state, this is a very simple title. It just says Ohio, because that's the state this map is all about. So, by looking here, what parts of the map do you see? Well, we have this, which says N. N stands for north, which means this is our compass rose. This compass rose only has an N, and that's because based on where north is, we can assume where all of the other directions are. So, never eat soggy waffles. These are the 4 directions of our map. Now, some maps don't actually have a compass rose. So what do you think you would do if your map has no compass rose? Well, in that case, you would assume the top is north. Down here, we have our legend, which is just the key for our map. Let's take a closer look. Here, it talks about the different types of highways, the different types of routes, some other symbols, and some more highways and roads. The legend on each map is specific to the type of map it is. So if your map is all about trails, then your map is going to give you more information about the trail and less about things like streets. So remember this, your legend is specific to the type of map. You might be seeing down here, there are these interesting lines. If we take a closer look, you can read the small print which says 1 inch equals approximately 10 miles. This is really fun because what you can do is take your thumb and say, well, this much of my thumb is 1 inch. So if we look over here and we want to know the distance from New Haven to Hartford, you can put your thumb next to it. This is about 1/4 of my thumb, so I would say it's about 2.5 miles.
Now we will take a look at the lines of longitude and latitude, or the grid lines. Maps usually have one or the other. This map has grid lines.
Here we have the number 58, and we have the letters A, B, C, and onward. Although it doesn't give you the precise longitude and latitude you can find on Google Maps, this helps you identify where something is on your map. Let's say we want to figure out where Hooven is. So think of it like this. You can draw a grid on the map and notice that Hooven, this town, is in 56B. Now, finding locations by grid is way easier than finding them by telling somebody, find this specific town on this gigantic map of an entire state.
Now it's time for you to make your own map. Choose a place near you that you know very well and write that location as your title. So my title would be The Path Near Twig's House. Then, decide on your legend and figure out what each symbol would represent on your map. Once you have those first 2 steps done, you can draw your map and fill in the rest of the important information. Remember to have your scale, your compass rose, and your grid lines. Here's a map I drew of the trail behind my house. I have my title, my compass rose, my key, my scale, and my grid lines, like we saw on our example map. If you do a system of letters and numbers, make sure that number 1 is in the top left corner and that A is in the bottom left corner. Once you have all of these components on your map, you're done. Great job, juniors and cadets. I hope you had a fun time with today's map video.